Well, good morning. Welcome to Lebanon, Tennessee, about an hour east of Nashville. This is the last stop on our crazy West Coast road trip for these desert jet ski treasures. Today, it's onward all the way back to Columbus. Before you hit the road, always check your riggings, make sure everything's good. Trailer's all still good, everything's hooked up there. We've got the bars down, we've got the straps down, everything is good, no real damage. Again, if you didn't watch yesterday, we had a slight problem with getting run off the road. Had to do some redneckery to fix the trailer. Essentially, it jackknifed when we were driving, when we got run off the road, so we jackknifed it the other way to kind of bend the trailer back. Not recommended, nor the professional way to fix things. Unfortunately, when you're completely in the middle of nowhere in Oklahoma, you just got to do what you got to do, because getting stranded on the side of the road is not an option, and nor is leaving these things sitting here. So we did get all the way here, and I think we're going to be fine getting it all the way home. But there's our super rare jet skis that we went all the way out to the West Coast to pick up, and it's time for me to head to Oak Ridge, Tennessee. Gonna have some brunch with my pops, and then head north to Ohio. I'm sure everybody's dying to know this, but best windshield squeegee of the entire trip belongs to the Shell station in Lebanon, Tennessee. Oh my goodness, look at that. Would you look at it? Would you look at that? Fantastic. As I said yesterday, East Tennessee has a place that's near and dear to my heart. My family is historically from here. Both my mother and father grew up here in a little area called Oak Ridge, Tennessee. Most of you have probably never heard of Oak Ridge, Tennessee. It's essentially a suburb of Knoxville, but it is the home of the atomic bomb. As weird as that is to say, the vast majority of the Manhattan Project happened in Oak Ridge, Tennessee. So it's a really interesting town, really interesting history. I'm sure most of you have never looked into the history of the atomic weapons that we've used in war, but Oak Ridge, Tennessee played a pretty huge part, and it's pretty neat to be from there. It's kind of it was known as a secret city. It was known as it didn't even appear on a map for forever. Pretty cool little town. So my dad actually now lives there again in his childhood home. So since I'm on my way through this way, and it's just a little bit before Thanksgiving, figured we kill two birds with one stone here, and he's not going to be able to make it up to Ohio for Thanksgiving. So we're going to have a little bit of, I guess, Thanksgiving brunch while I'm on my way up north. So nice little leisurely drive across central Tennessee into eastern Tennessee. We are currently at 432 miles on this round of the tripometer, which means I am at 5,430 some odd miles on this trip. So by the time I pull back into Columbus, I'm going to be knocking on the door of 6,000 total miles in just over a week, which is a lot. Anyway, time for me to concentrate on just driving for a little bit. I'll show you a little bit of East Tennessee that you can see from I-40 East. I have been quite blessed over my life to enjoy a lot of East Tennessee, as I said. My family is historically from this area. Unfortunately, I'm here a little late in the season. I don't get to have amazing shots of all of the leaves turning. Most of the trees have dropped their leaves already. But in the fall, if you're into outdoorsy stuff and the colors of nature, this drive is just absolutely stunning. You've got 30, 40 foot tall trees on both sides of you for 100 miles. You're up and down through beautiful valleys. You've got, you know, lakes and rivers that are down that you can view. You've got vistas where you can view into the other small towns. It's just, I love East Tennessee. I absolutely love East Tennessee. Anyway, so we are about 25 miles away from ramping off I-40 towards Oak Ridge, Tennessee. I'll give you a quick little video view of what Oak Ridge looks like. Not real exciting. There's not a lot to see, I guess. You know, there's not a big, beautiful building that says, hey, by the way, amazing things happened here. But there's lots of little things that are all around the place. The Atomic History Museum is here. Science.gov is here. There's a lot of things that you would never imagine a small town in eastern Tennessee to be the scene of that are here. So I'll give you a little bit of a quick little view as I get ready to meet my dad. We are meeting at Zaxbys, which is a tasty little southern chicken finger joint. And then I'll be back on the road. Welcome to Oak Ridge, Tennessee. So we're kind of in the foothills of the Smoky Mountains here. Beautiful views all over the place. The Y12 plant is ahead of us. So there is the K25 plant. And I don't want to go into specifics here as far as what all is involved in these different plants. If you are interested in learning Oak Ridge history, there's certainly other places you can go versus talking to some wrench head about history. But pretty interesting spots in the middle of the mountains in East Tennessee. For those of you who have been a member of the channel for a while or have watched some of our older content, there's a video in our library about returning my father's GMC Cyclone to him. We had it up in Columbus to do some beautification, and the Cyclone is kind of one of those things that it's a super rare, unique car, truck thing. Doesn't really truck. It's not a car, I guess. It's really part of what made me the person I am when it comes to hot rods and race cars and a gearhead. So I owe a lot of the person you see to me today to the owning of this vehicle. We will not be able to take it out today. I have too much to do, but maybe next time I'm down here, we'll take it out for a little bit of a road cruise and conversation. It's Oak Ridge High School. Just seems like a cute little mountain town. Chamber of Commerce, you got your main thoroughfare that just runs through the middle of town. But it's definitely a town with a lot of secrets. For the most part, anybody driving through here, if you don't know the story of Oak Ridge, wouldn't have any idea the significance this town and the people of this town have played in the history of United States and frankly the world. Everything changed with the nuclear weapons that were built out of this place, and it's a pretty cool experience. I'm just about to get to Zaxbys. Gonna sit down with my dad, have some lunch, some father-son time, and I will be back on the road momentarily. Well, Pops, thanks for meeting up for lunch. That was tasty. And I do have another sweet tea for the road. Part of being southern bred is you kind of always have sweet tea available. So I'm on my way towards Clinton. I'm going to stop for one last fuel stop in Clinton, which will give me more than enough range to get back to Columbus and drop these jet skis off. I'm going to do my very best and not stop in Lexington and buy bourbon. Full disclosure, I have a little bit of a alcohol collection problem. Not that I have a drinking problem. I like to buy it. I like to buy things that I don't need and don't drink very often. So, the liquor barn in Lexington has taken a lot of money out of my pockets over the years, and I'm going to do my very, very best to not stop there and buy something else I don't need on this trip back with some things that Rich doesn't need. Anyway, hit the fuel station in Clinton, head north, and very good chance I may miss the rush hour in Lexington, which would be really nice. It is 2:45 currently, so there's a good chance that I'll be all right on this drive home. We'll see. Sometimes you want to go a little slower than you need to, just so you don't end up in nightmarish traffic. Well, another plan thwarted. Right lane closed ahead. Oy, 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 oy. Hey, that's the beauty of the great American road trip, right? We have all these wonderful interstates. We've got to work on them. We've got to do maintenance on them. It happens. It's not convenient when it happens. It's never convenient when it happens, but it happens. Oh well. The nice thing is, at least it's beautiful. I'll get to see the sunset in the mountains. Always a beautiful view driving down Jellicoe Mountain, coming out of Tennessee, headed north. Welcome to Kentucky. We are almost home. One more state to go. Now, I know for a fact that I am going to run into road construction through Kentucky. I have driven this road a couple of times in the last few months, and I realized that there is definitely going to be some road construction ahead of me. So I'm going to plan on getting a little sidetracked on timing. But it's a beautiful day. It's mid-50s. I'm still driving through some gorgeous country, and then once I get out of this, I'll be in the rolling hills of Kentucky, the bluegrass state, which hopefully isn't all brown. So as I said, lots of road construction in Kentucky. They've been going at it pretty heavy since early summer, at least as far as I remember. Down and back to Knoxville area and Lake Cumberland, Kentucky over the summer. Been stuck in this traffic a couple of times. So, you know, it's affecting the travel speed. I'm doing this in the afternoon, and I'm in the kind of the in-between section, so there's not a lot of cities, not a lot of traffic out here. Fortunately, that means I'm not, you know, completely destroyed in traffic, but it is 5 until 5. I'm about an hour south of Lexington, depending on how fast I can go. So I'm going to probably roll into Lexington around 6, which may not be optimal. And unfortunately, as you can see behind me, the sun is starting to set. So, won't be able to show much of Lexington. The route through Lexington on 75 doesn't really go through Lexington. You don't see downtown Lexington, so it'd just be going around the outskirts. And I am going to avoid going to my liquor store that I really want to go to, because I don't need anything. But I am going to take 75 to 71 to downtown Cincinnati, because I think that's also one of the most gorgeous entrances into a city that we have, at least in the Midwest. It's a beautiful city when it's lit up, and it's a great view. So I'm going to make sure I get that on camera for you. Hopefully I'm not a long way away from there, but we'll see what the fates give me. But yeah, so this will be pretty much the end of there's the right there. That's the end of the sunlight for today. Rolling up north part of Kentucky into Covington. Bit of traffic, nothing real serious. It is 6:45 in the evening, so I got a little lucky. No bad traffic. This can be an absolute nightmare getting in here. The neat part of Covington and Cincinnati is they are separated by the Ohio River,
but Covington has essentially become like Cincinnati South. As you'll see in a minute here, Cincinnati, if you're not familiar with it, is a really cool little river city. It basically butts up directly on the south side of the Ohio River. And the neat thing is, as you come around this corner up here, it just kind of automatically appears on the horizon. Has new brake lights. There is the beautiful river city of Cincinnati, Ohio. Now, any of my fans in Pittsburgh, and you know the bridges of Pittsburgh and all of the crazy road interchanges, this is one of the least well thought out plans about this area. This is where 75 and 71 split, and they do it going over a bridge between cities, between states, with highways involved also that are ramping on and ramping off. So in this case, I don't want to go to Dayton. I want to go up 71 north to Columbus. Well, that means I have to get all the way across this traffic to go kind of veery righty stuff. But you've also got traffic ramping on from the right.
Exit right to exit 1B, I-71 north, US 50 east, Columbus.
Yeah, so we've got traffic ramping on from the right. We've got traffic from the left. And we've got to work our way all the way across. Excuse me, pardon me, excuse me. And we have great success. We have made it over across the bridge to 71. So hey, look at this. Welcome to Cincinnati, Ohio. Like I said, very pretty city. It's right on the waterfront. The neat thing with Cincinnati...
In 3/4 of a mile. Stay to the right to I-71 north, Columbus.
The neat thing with Cincinnati is they put all of their major sports locations down here on the waterfront. So the Bengals, the Reds, they all have their stadiums right down here on the waterfront.
In 1/2 mile. Stay to the right.
It's actually a really, really pretty city. I'm a big fan. Columbus is not really that beautiful a city as far as what I'm concerned against water, and it doesn't really show up like Cincinnati does. Cleveland does, because it's up against the lake. But it's not, it doesn't have the appeal, I don't think.
Stay to the right to I-71 north, Columbus.
But it doesn't have the appeal, I don't think, of Cincinnati. I've just always been a fan of this place. Don't spend enough time down here, but... So anyway, made it through the last state, and we are back home in Ohio. That's exciting. Got about 125 miles to go before we get back into Columbus, and which time we are home. So it is 6:45. I should be home by like 8:15, 8:30. Get the truck up to the shop, drop off the jet skis, and then yeah, this incredible adventure will be done. So 120 miles of northern Cincinnati and then farmland, and we will reach Columbus. journey is almost at an end. If you look over here to the left, you can just barely see in the distance there in the black, that's Mount Columbus, as we so good-naturedly call it. Mount Columbus is our trash dump. It's a great way to say welcome to our beautiful city when you route the major interstate directly past the largest trash dump in the state. Not sure whose decision that was, but whatever. Anyways, we are just barely outside of the outer belts of Columbus, Ohio. Getting a little bit tired. Almost there. Bit of a funny situation. You last saw Katrina Bell a number of days ago when I left her in Los Angeles. As I said previously, her son now lives there, and she was getting a chance to have some mother-son time out there on the West Coast. Funny as it would be, I have driven all the way across this great country of ours, and I am arriving about 2 hours before her flight back from the West Coast after she spent a few days out there on the West Coast. So I am going to pick her up from the airport after all of this experience. Columbus. Welcome back to the land of perpetual road construction. We do love our road construction folks, and ODOT specifically, but having lived in Columbus for a long period of time, you do get very tired of the fact that every single year all over the city there's just massive road construction projects and massive traffic problems. Again, when we talk about entrances into a city, St. Louis, gorgeous. Cincinnati, beautiful. Nashville, gorgeous. LA, yeah, all right, maybe. Denver, definitely not. Your construction on your interstates is hilariously bad. Columbus has done a pretty good job of screwing up the entrance into downtown to make it as unattractive as possible for a very, very long time. You get stuck in traffic absolutely everywhere you possibly can, especially now coming in from the south side in this, what we call the south side megafix. Personal side note, this section over here where these barrels are has been barreled off since the summer, and there's zero actual construction that's happened in this section. And the reason I know that is I got a ticket right back there, which I'll now show you me being ticketed, in that exact same spot where those exact same barrels have been sitting since June, and no actual construction has been done in that area. The fantastically Ohio State Patrol officer wrote me a ticket for a active construction zone with workers present in that area, which is a double fine. So, yay. I am literally 10 miles from the shop, and traffic is down to an almost standstill. Let's see if I can sneak past. Oh, looky there. more people ran into each other. It's unbelievable. This is gonna get a whole lot worse now. Now that you introduce secondary accidents into this whole process. What is this? This is ODOT. There you go. How about that plan, guys? Well, this is something serious here. They have 270 on the west side of the city completely shut down and incapable of going south. So they're routing everybody off the outer belt. Oh, what a nightmare. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it is 9 p.m. on Wednesday. I left last Tuesday for the West Coast and have had one hell of an adventure. Along the way, I have seen an amazing amount of things. I've eaten an amazing amount of food, made some new friends, seen a lot of new stuff, ran into a bunch of road construction, got run off the road, got to do some off-roading, stood in the Colorado River. The list goes on and on and on. It was what a heck of a life experience. Thank you to all who were involved, everybody who made this such an amazing experience. Not sure that I ever plan on doing something quite like this. I turned over just over 6,000 miles a little bit ago as I was coming into Columbus in 8 days. So I don't really ever plan on beating that record. I didn't really ever plan on beating the 2,900 miles out of the $2,500 car road trip either. But you never know what life's going to throw at you, I guess. So I am going to drop the jet skis here. I am back at the shop. Not that you can see it. You're just going to have to trust me here. And go pick up Katrina from the airport, because she flew back across the country instead of driving. Probably the smarter choice. Thank you to all who have come along on this ride. It's been a good time. I hope you guys have enjoyed it. I've enjoyed most of it. There's more road trips in the future. Probably not quite as extreme as this, but there will definitely be more road trips in the future. As well as all the other project cars and interesting stuff we work on. This is certainly not the end of our adventures together. So as always, we appreciate it if you click on the subscribe button, drop us a comment, click on that like button. The more we can get interactions with you guys, and the more you guys can show us that you actually pay attention to what we do, the better it does things for us. The more opportunity it gives us to do adventures and projects and things, and helps us understand what you guys like to see. All right, time to unhook these jet skis and head to the airport. Thanks for watching, as always. We'll see you next time.